chosen one. What I am placing into your hands is not a power that allows you to stand above others, but a strength that has matured through the years in which you learned to endure, to love, to correct yourself, and to rise again. The world may never have seen this version of you, because even you are only beginning to recognize it. It is not a mystical ability that will cause every door to open immediately, nor is it a promise that you will never again face hardship. What is being formed within you is a deeper stability. You know who you are without needing everyone's approval. You know what is worth pursuing without being led by noise. And you know how to continue doing good even when the results have not yet appeared. This is the gift I have quietly cultivated within you every time you chose not to let pain turn you into a bitter person. I have not been preparing you for a life made only of radiant moments. I am teaching you to carry light into ordinary days, when you must still work, care for your family, keep your promises, and handle responsibilities for which no one applauds you. True strength is not revealed only when you stand before a crowd. It appears when you preserve kindness during a difficult conversation, remain silent rather than answer with words that cause harm, and courageously apologize when you recognize that you were wrong. Some people wait for a dramatic transformation while despising the small choices they make each day. But I want you to understand that it is precisely those small choices, repeated with sincerity, that create a life capable of enduring. The years behind you were not a meaningless chain of days leading toward an instant reward. They were a season of refinement, giving you enough depth to receive new responsibilities without losing yourself. Silence taught you how to listen. Rejection compelled you to examine where you had placed your worth. Closed doors caused you to seek another direction, sometimes slower, but more consistent with your dignity and the principles you desire to preserve. I am not saying that every wound was sent by me or that every failure was arranged. Life contains events arising from human choices, the limitations of circumstances, and things beyond your control. Yet I can help you transform what happened into wisdom, so that the past becomes not merely a place of pain, but also the place where you learn to live with greater awareness. I saw the times when you stood before a closed door and believed that you were not good enough. I saw you trying to explain your worth to people who were unwilling to listen. I saw you make your dreams smaller, so that others would not feel uncomfortable, hide your abilities for fear of judgment, and remain silent about things that should have been spoken respectfully. You carried these burdens for so long that sometimes you forgot how heavy they truly were. But today, I am not calling you to continue enduring, simply to prove your faithfulness. I am calling you into a healthier way of living, where love does not eliminate boundaries, humility does not mean diminishing yourself, and forgiveness does not require you to return to places where the same injuries continue to be repeated. You may remember Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, as an image of courage joined with integrity. Michael does not come to make you a person who never feels fear, nor does he replace me by promising effortless victories. The protection symbolized through him begins with your ability to preserve what is precious within you, guarding your peace from voices that create chaos, guarding your kindness from bitterness, and guarding your wise decisions from the pressure to return to old ways of living. I remain the Father speaking directly to you, not standing far away while watching you struggle alone, but patiently guiding you through every necessary step. You may have thought that your reward had to be something visible that would astonish everyone who once disregarded you. But I want to purify that desire. You do not need success in order to prove that others were wrong. You do not need a high position to heal the pain of once being overlooked. When you build your future merely to answer those who doubted you, you are still giving them authority over your direction. The deeper reward is freedom from the need for revenge, the ability to live without performing, and the opportunity to use your abilities for what is good rather than to fill an emptiness within. Then, whether many people see you or you serve quietly within a small circle, your life will still possess meaning. Certain things within you once remained hidden, not because the world deliberately conspired to bury them, but because you had not yet found the environment, skills, or confidence needed to express them. Perhaps it was the ability to lead, write, create, listen, or care for others. Perhaps it was insight within your work, or the ability to remain calm while everyone around you became confused. These gifts will not develop merely because you believe you have been chosen. They need to be nurtured through discipline, learning, and persistent practice. A seed may possess the potential to become a great tree, but it still requires good soil, water, sunlight, and time. In the same way, the abilities within you must be cultivated through very practical steps. If you want to write, begin writing consistently, instead of waiting only for inspiration. If you want to serve, learn to listen to the genuine needs of others rather than assuming that you already know what is best for them. If you want to lead, learn to accept responsibility, communicate clearly, and respect people whose perspectives differ from your own. If you want to change careers, develop your skills, examine your finances, and create a suitable plan. Faith does not eliminate preparation. On the contrary, mature faith helps you prepare without allowing fear to paralyze you. I do not want you merely waiting for a dramatic moment to rescue you from the work that needs to be done today. I know there is a deep part within you that has silently carried burdens for many years. It is the part that does not always appear before others. Outwardly, you may continue smiling, completing your work, and saying that you are fine. Inwardly, however, you have often wondered whether anyone truly sees your exhaustion, your delayed dreams, and the courage you must gather each morning in order to continue. I see it. I do not see only the strong version you present to everyone else. I also see the person you have been trying to protect beneath layers of defensiveness. I understand why there are times when you no longer want to explain yourself, because you have become exhausted from describing pain to people who listen briefly and then quickly forget. But do not allow the experience of being misunderstood to close your heart forever. Not everyone will treat your story carelessly. Learn to recognize people who can listen without immediately trying to repair you, who respect boundaries, and who will not later use your vulnerability against you. You do not need to share everything with everyone, but neither should you imprison yourself in isolation. Sometimes, a trustworthy person, a healthy community, or a qualified professional can help you see what you have been too close to recognize. Seeking support does not diminish your strength. It demonstrates that you have matured enough not to turn suffering into a source of pride. I also want you to stop pursuing the image of a version of yourself who is always perfect. You do not need to remain strong at every moment, always possess clarity, or always know what you should do. Some days you will feel clear and full of energy. On other days, you will only be able to complete the basics. Both belong to the human journey. Your worth does not increase when you perform well, nor does it disappear when you are tired. Yet my love for you is not a reason to neglect the parts of your life that need to change. Because you possess value, you are invited to care for yourself, accept responsibility, and stop permitting behaviors that cause harm. Perhaps you have long waited for an answer confirming that your life has a purpose. But purpose does not always appear as a grand calling that is clear from the beginning. It is often recognized when you pay attention to what you do well, the kind of pain that moves you to help, the responsibilities presently before you, and the values you refuse to exchange. Purpose may take different forms in different seasons. In one season, it may be learning and preparation. In another, it may be caring for a loved one, building a career, or recovering from pain. Do not despise your present season simply because it does not resemble the grand image you once imagined. Every season has its own work. If there is a question within you that has existed for a long time, stop searching only through messages outside yourself. Return to stillness, but also look honestly at reality. What are you doing each day? What usually makes you feel alive and useful? What abilities cause other people to seek your help? What aspects of your present lifestyle contradict the values you claim to believe? These questions may lead you toward an answer far more truthful than declarations, that you are certainly destined for an extraordinary fate. I do not want you living through fantasies about the future while neglecting the responsibilities of the present. The power I desire for you to carry into the world is not the ability to dominate, impress, or force everyone to recognize you. It is the strength to stop a cycle of pain that has passed through many people. When you choose to speak respectfully to your children, rather than repeating the way you were once hurt, you are exercising power. When you refuse to participate in gossip, even though remaining silent may separate you from others, you are exercising power. When you admit a mistake without searching for someone else to blame, you are exercising power. When you forgive while maintaining boundaries, you are exercising power. Such things may not astonish the world, but they transform relationships and open the way toward a better future. Remember that your presence in a room does not need to create some mysterious frequency in order to possess value. Others may sense something different in you when you listen without judging. Speak the truth without humiliating anyone, and remain calm when a situation becomes tense. A self-controlled person often creates a sense of safety. Someone who does not need to occupy all attention allows others the freedom to be themselves. This is the kind of influence I want you to cultivate, not controlling, manipulating, or causing people to depend upon you, but helping them remember their dignity and their own ability to stand. There is no invisible book being read aloud to guarantee that you are about to receive everything you have ever desired. But every choice you make creates consequences, and the things you build faithfully will gradually take shape in different ways. Kindness may not always be returned immediately. Hard work does not always produce the exact outcome you expected. Yet integrity, knowledge, healthy relationships, and the ability to rise after failure will create a foundation that chance cannot easily take away. This is what you can continue building. Instead of waiting for a predetermined reward, release the need to make those who once overlooked you return and recognize you. If one day they understand, Receive that understanding with humility. If they never understand, you can still live fully. You do not need their regret in order to heal. You do not need another person's failure to prove that you have won. Let your success be measured by your growing freedom from bitterness, your ability to appreciate what you possess, and your willingness to share what is good with others. A peaceful heart is more valuable than a stage filled with applause while emptiness remains within. I invite you to courageously reveal what has been hidden, but do so wisely. Do not attempt to change your entire life within one emotional moment. Choose one ability to develop, one habit to correct, and one relationship that needs care or clearer boundaries. Begin there. Write a plan, choose a sustainable pace, and remain faithful even after the excitement fades. What makes you different is not one moment in which you declare yourself powerful, but the perseverance you demonstrate after that moment has passed. My beloved child, the part within you that longs for answers does not need more impressive declarations. It needs to be heard, cared for, and guided toward honest action. Forgive yourself for the years when you did not know what you needed. Forgive others when your heart is ready. But do not return to patterns that diminish your dignity. Be grateful for the lessons that helped you see more clearly, even if you are not grateful for the painful events themselves. Remember that healing does not require you to deny sorrow. It helps you stop allowing sorrow to control your direction. Now rise with a courage that does not need to be loud. Let the past teach you without imprisoning you. Let rejection make you wiser without closing your heart. Let closed doors lead you toward better preparation, rather than the conclusion that every road is against you. Live kindly, not to receive a reward, but because kindness reflects the person you desire to become. Work diligently, not to astonish the world, but to honor the abilities and responsibilities entrusted to you. I remain with you, not promising that everything will become easy, but reminding you that you do not need to face this journey in despair. When you are tired, rest. When you lack understanding, learn. When you are wrong, accept responsibility and make corrections. When you succeed, be grateful. When others need help, lift them without making them feel inferior. And when you do not know what the next step should be, choose the most truthful, responsible, and loving thing you are capable of doing today. This is the strength I am cultivating within you, the ability to transform pain into compassion, failure into instruction, silence into wisdom, and years of being overlooked into the foundation of an honest life. You do not need to become someone the world has never seen in order to possess value. You need only become the best person you can become, one day at a time, with your feet firmly grounded in reality, your heart open to love, and your eyes directed toward hope. Peace will keep you from rushing. Gratitude will protect you from arrogance. Forgiveness will free you from old chains. And faith will help you continue walking, even while much of the road remains unclear. My beloved child, what is happening in your life now resembles a scroll preserved over many years, not to conceal a mysterious destiny from you, but so that each page may be opened only when you possess enough depth to read it wisely. That scroll bears your name because it contains your choices, lessons, tears, hopes, and the times you rose after falling. No hand can write the entire story in your place, and no judgment from outside has the authority to determine the final page. Some people once tried to place names upon you that never belonged to you, saying that you were too weak, too slow, or incapable of going far. But their words are not the seal upon your future. A new chapter opens not through the world's recognition, but when you become honest enough to look back, courageous enough to change, and humble enough to continue learning. I do not want you to understand this scroll as a fixed destiny that you merely sit and wait to see fulfilled. Your future is shaped through both grace and responsibility, through the opportunities you receive and the way you respond to them. Some pages are written through circumstances beyond your control, but many pages are formed through very small decisions. Whether you speak the truth or hide it, forgive or nurture bitterness, persevere or abandon everything simply because the results have not yet appeared. When you live with awareness, what once existed only within you begins to become visible outside you. Peace becomes the way you respond. Kindness becomes the way you treat others. Growth becomes the healthy boundaries you know how to establish. This is when good intentions that were once merely hopes gradually become a visible way of life. Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, stands as a symbol of courage as you turn this new page. Michael does not come to open every door in your place or make you invulnerable. The protection represented through him is an invitation to guard what is being built. Guard your mind from chaos, guard your heart from hatred, and guard your determination from voices that seek to pull you back toward your former self. But I remain the Father speaking directly to you. I do not pressure you to change overnight, nor do I condemn you if you need more time. I only remind you that the door does not open through panic. It opens through discernment and one sincere step. There is something the world frequently misunderstands about power. Many people believe that power means controlling circumstances, forcing others to submit, or obtaining whatever they desire without waiting. But power without discipline easily becomes arrogance. Influence without compassion can harm those who are vulnerable. Success arriving. Before someone has learned, self-governance can turn the very thing they desired into a burden. Therefore, the strength I want you to cultivate does not begin with how much you are given, but with how you have learned to use what you already possess. Can you preserve kindness when given authority to decide? Can you listen when others respect you? Can you remember the days of scarcity when you begin to possess more? These are the questions that determine whether you can carry greater responsibility without losing humility. Now pause and breathe slowly. Do not search for an extraordinary feeling, but recognize how far you have already traveled. You remained through seasons that offered no clear explanation. You preserved hope, while others believed you were merely dreaming. You continued performing ordinary duties, while your heart was filled with questions. Sometimes, your perseverance did not appear beautiful. It was simply getting out of bed, fulfilling your responsibilities, and trying not to hurt anyone during a day when you yourself were in pain. I saw those things too. Faithfulness does not always resemble a great fire. Sometimes it is only a small flame you protect through every gust of wind, just enough to prevent darkness from taking over your entire heart. When you breathe slowly and stop resisting the present moment, another door begins to open. The door that allows you to look back upon past years with new meaning. Before speaking about what may be given to you, I want you to name what has already been formed within you. What did the years of waiting teach you? Did misunderstanding make you more bitter or more profound? Did closed doors cause despair or encourage you to prepare more carefully? Not every hardship automatically produces growth. pain becomes wisdom only when you are willing to learn. If you never reflect, you may repeat the same patterns in a different form. But once you recognize the lesson, the past is no longer only the place where you suffered. It becomes the place where you were equipped. Remember the story of Joseph, a young man who carried dreams greater than his own understanding. While still very young, he saw the future, but did not yet possess enough experience to know how to carry such a vision. His own family did not understand him. Jealousy became betrayal, and he was taken away from everything familiar to live in a foreign land. Then, just when he believed he was gradually rebuilding his life, he was falsely accused and thrown into darkness. From the outside, it may have appeared that everything good had been taken away. The dream seemed meaningless, his abilities seemed buried, but those years could not erase the qualities he chose to cultivate. In places where no one applauded, Joseph learned to work faithfully. When he had no authority, he learned to manage small responsibilities. When treated unjustly, he had to decide whether bitterness would become part of his character or whether he would preserve integrity. When forgotten, he learned that his worth could not depend entirely upon whether others remembered him. I am not saying that prison was good, nor am I claiming that injustice should be glorified. What is wrong remains wrong. Yet even within an unfair situation, a person can still choose not to let evil determine who they will become. The years of waiting were not Joseph's punishment. Neither were they wasted. They became the period in which he was formed. So that, if he were one day entrusted with great responsibility, he would not use power to take revenge upon those who had hurt him. A high position without maturity can transform old wounds into new cruelty. Someone who has not learned to forgive may use influence to force others to experience the pain they once endured. But when opportunity came, Joseph possessed enough depth to see beyond personal anger. He could remember his suffering without allowing it to control his decisions. He could hold authority without needing to destroy those who had injured him. This is the true evidence of power that has been refined. The same is true for you. Perhaps you are asking for an opportunity, a position, a relationship, or a meaningful change. But I want you to ask yourself, if it arrived today, would you possess enough peace to receive it? Would you use it to serve or to prove that others were wrong? Would you preserve kindness after no longer needing the help of those who once walked beside you? Do you know how to manage time, emotions, and responsibility? These questions are not meant to discourage you. They help you understand that preparation is not meaningless delay. Sometimes, the most important thing happening is not that the outward door is opening, but that you are becoming someone capable of walking through it without losing yourself. There were years when you believed that you had been forgotten, but you were actually learning how to stand without depending upon applause. There were times when you had to begin with small tasks, and those tasks taught you the attentiveness required for greater assignments. Some people left your life, allowing you to realize that their presence had once drowned out the honest voice within you. Certain plans failed, requiring you to relearn preparation, communication, and responsibility. Not every loss is a form of guidance, but every experience can become a lesson when you look at it honestly, rather than only through resentment. Do not romanticize seasons of pain, but neither should you consider them completely useless. If you have walked through darkness, ask what you should carry forward and what you should leave behind. Carry compassion for those who suffer. Carry the ability to recognize unhealthy signs. Carry gratitude for those who helped you rise. But leave behind shame, hatred, and the need to make someone pay. Those burdens do not protect you. They merely extend the power of the past. I know that you have often asked why your journey has taken so long. You see others entering what they desire while you continue waiting. But you do not see their entire story, just as they do not know everything you are building. Do not use another person's speed to condemn your own process. At the same time, be honest enough not to turn waiting into an excuse for delay. If there is a skill you need to learn, begin learning. If there is a conversation that must happen, prepare to speak respectfully. If a habit is weakening you, seek a way to change it. Genuine preparation is always accompanied by action. You do not need a throne to prove that the years behind you had meaning. Your greatest responsibility may never appear before a crowd. It may be becoming a dependable father, mother, friend, or colleague. It may be building a home that does not repeat the pain you once experienced. It may be performing ordinary work with integrity, caring for someone who is vulnerable, or creating something useful for your community. Do not let the world's image of power cause you to despise the gentle influence of a kind life. The power I am teaching you is the power of self-control. Being insulted without immediately humiliating someone else, possessing the ability to retaliate, but choosing to establish boundaries calmly. Receiving praise without believing that you are above others, and making a mistake while possessing enough courage to admit it. It is the power of forgiveness. Not forgiveness that denies justice, but forgiveness that prevents you from becoming a prisoner of anger. It is the power of gratitude, helping you use what you possess, instead of living constantly within a sense of scarcity. It is also the power of faith. Not faith that promises every desire will instantly become reality, but faith that helps you continue planting what is good even before you can see the full result. Therefore, allow the scroll of your life to be opened one page at a time through sincere choices. Do not try to tear quickly toward the ending simply because you are impatient with the present. Every page contains something you need to learn. If today is a page of rest, rest without guilt. If today is a page of responsibility, do what needs to be done without delay. If today is a page of apology, humble yourself. If today is a page of departure, leave calmly and without carrying a desire for revenge. You have traveled a long way, but your journey does not give you the right to despise those who are only beginning. What you endured does not place you above others. It can make you more compassionate if you allow it. Use your experience to support, not judge. Use discernment to protect, not control. Use your abilities to serve, not to make others dependent upon you. Then, what was formed in darkness will become light for those who are still searching for the way. I do not promise that you will never face another trial, but you no longer need to enter hardship as your former self. You have learned how to pause before reacting, seek help when necessary, and begin again without condemning yourself. Forgive those who failed to recognize your worth, but do not allow their lack of understanding to continue defining the way you see yourself. Forgive yourself for the years when you lived under fear. You did the best you could with the understanding you possessed at the time. Now that you see more clearly, choose to live more wisely. Step out of the former years, not with a cry of triumph, but with steady peace. Be grateful that difficulty did not take away all your kindness. Preserve hope while keeping your feet firmly grounded in reality. Continue learning, working, loving, and correcting yourself. Your scroll is not the story of someone who never fell. It is the story of someone who rose many times without allowing their heart to become a dwelling place for hatred.